Hi there, my name is Casey Waters. Today I'll be helping to demonstrate how you can quickly and easily create your own beautiful Whispir template to be used in establishing a conversation with your overdue customer accounts. You'll be able to rewatch this webinar later from our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WhispirTV. Today's session will be made up of two parts. First, the creation of the payment reminder template within Whispir's own Rich Message Studio, including the dynamic attributes. And secondly, using that created template as part of a bulk message sendout, using the information supplied during the bulk message process to populate the dynamic attributes within the template. Something really important to note: to complete what we're doing today, you do not need to have any knowledge of HTML or CSS. If you've got a keyboard and mouse and have a Whispir account, we'll be able to do everything that you see on screen today. Let's get started. Let me first introduce you to Whispir's template library. We navigate to the library by hovering over the workspace we'd like to prepare our template within. I'm doing it within ABC Operations. Now we can select Rich Message Studio. You'll see it in the center of the workspace menu. Here we can see the templates which exist already within the workspace. Let's instead select Choose from Template Library from the top row. Here we have access to Whispir's template library. Each template is a ready-to-go messaging solution for a wide variety of communication use cases. But what if the content of these templates doesn't quite align to our own communication use case? Well, Whispir's Rich Message Studio provides an easy-to-use set of tools allowing you to take an item from the template library, change it, and use it for your own purposes. Remember, the templates that you save in your own Whispir company are only visible from within your own Whispir company. The template library is accessible to everyone and free to use. For our webinar today, we're going to talk about a situation where a customer has missed a payment, and we're communicating with that customer about that overdue payment. Let's first filter our results within the template library by selecting Finance from the category filters on the left. Today we're going to be using the template Finance Overdue Payment. We'll be hovering over that template and selecting Use. Now that we've got that template loaded, we can see that the template has pre-populated content for the mobile, email, and web channels. For my use case, I'm only going to be using SMS and web as my channels. I find using SMS is a little bit more effective at garnering a response than a traditional email. So let's go and remove the content from the email channel now so that we can then focus on the mobile and web channels. To do this, I'm going to select on the email channel and remove all of the components here. As I remove the last component, you'll notice that the green check against the email channel is now removed. This signifies that the channel will not be used when a message is sent to a recipient. Now that I've removed everything, it's time to go and work on the mobile channel. So we'll do that by selecting mobile. Now we can see that there's still content there. Within Whispir's Rich Message Studio, it's super easy to update this content. Simply select the component that we wish to update. Click on the little pencil here, and we'll see that the side panel expands, allowing us to make very easy adjustments. As SMS isn't able to support any rich text features such as bold or italics, we only need to focus on the plain text itself. I'm going to update the content now with my own. and that content is updated. Now it's time to invest a little bit of time in the web channel to ensure it's going to meet our needs from both a branding perspective as well as content perspective. Looking at the content available, the overall theme of the template is likely to meet our needs. However, the branding and content will need a bit of a refresh, just so that it matches both my own organisation's language as well as the branding. Luckily, this is easy to do thanks to Whispir's Rich Message Studio. First, let's remove all of the elements that we don't want, then focus on those that are remaining. You'll notice that as I roll over the components, the controls are shown, allowing me to either move them up and down, edit them, or remove them, as we saw earlier in the email channel. I'm going to remove the banner image and the 3 separate footers at the bottom. So I'll click the little trash can and the 3 items down here. Great, now it's time to update the branding to suit our own organisations. I'm using a fictional company today called Metro City Finance. So I'm going to swap out the Whispir logo at the top. As we can see, the controls are expanded in the right-hand side panel here. I'm going to go in and replace the logo, uploading it from my own local machine. So that logo has now been updated and is hosted within Whispir's content delivery network. What we can see here is that it has been imported onto the template, but the sizing isn't quite what I expected. What we can see here are the width controls for the previously loaded Whispir template has a fixed width of 140 pixels. Now I'm going to change that to 100% so that it consumes the entire width that is made available. I'm also going to update the padding. As you can see down here, we've got top, right, bottom, left padding. I'm going to set all of these to 0. I want an application-like experience for my recipients. Click Done, and that looks much better. You'll note that the template content makes changes immediately as I'm changing it on the right-hand side. This helps you to understand whether the changes that you're making are in line with what you expect to occur. Whilst I'm updating the logo in this header section, I also have access to change CSS, or cascading style sheets, for the web content. It's not important that you know what CSS is, just that you're able to control the colours, fonts, and other attributes at a global level. The Whispir blue that's used within this template doesn't really work well with my brand's image, so I'm going to update the headings and submit button to my own colour, which I know is a hash. As I'm updating these, you'll see it appear on the left-hand side, changing from blue to orange. Nice and easy. Now the template's looking much better. We've got the same orange used throughout. It's now the content that needs our attention. A great feature of Whispir is being able to create templates which can be reused. To ensure our template remains flexible as possible into the future, it's important to identify parts of our messages which will be the same for all individuals and which parts of our messages will be unique for those individuals. For the most part, my template is going to have the same content for each recipient, but there will be a small number of areas which will differ for each person. To include these dynamic elements, or attributes as we refer to them within Whispir, we need to define an attribute name within our template, then supply the same attribute as a column header within our bulk message file. You might remember from my mobile content that I've already used my first attribute, and that was finance first name. Let's keep building, focusing on the web channel. I'll first update the header section, this section here. changing the labels to be in line with my language that I use within the owned organisation. So I'm going to change this title text, and you will note the text being changed on the left-hand side as I type. You'll note that the two attributes that I've used, account and payment due date, do not have any spaces in them. That's really important. I'm going to remove the third section here, of payment status. You'll notice as I remove it, it's removed on the left-hand side, keeping it really nice and easy. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go on and update the main section of the template here now. Fantastic. Now the two buttons at the bottom of our template give the recipients of the message the ability to respond quickly and easily. The options I wish to provide to my recipients is to tell me that they've either already made the payment or to give them an ability to request an extension, really nice and simply. Let's update those buttons so that they match our requirements. I'm going to update the Pay Now button to a little bit of nicer language. I'm also going to update the text that is shown when the recipients hit that button. So you can see the existing text here, contact Whispir for payment engine integration options. We're going to replace that. Now you will note that this content is not shown on the left-hand side. That's because it's hidden temporarily until that button has been pressed, and it will then collapse the form and show that nice little thank. I'm also going to change the other button in line with my other language, replacing it with something a little nicer. And I'll also change the response text. That looks great. Now the branding and content is perfect. Let's see how it looks on a simulated desktop and mobile environment. We're going to navigate to the top of the page and click Review. So on the left-hand side, we can see it in a desktop environment. And on the right-hand side, we can see that in a simulated mobile environment. Just checking that all of the content is nice and responsive. And that looks really good. I'm happy with that. Let's save our template and start a bulk message to send it out to our late payers. We do that by navigating to the top, clicking Save, giving our template a name, and clicking Save at the bottom of the page. Fantastic. And there's our template there within our own workspace. To get the message out to those late payers, we first need to start with a spreadsheet that has data to populate all of our attributes as well as the mobile number for that recipient. Remembering we're going to be sending an SMS with a link that navigates out to the web content that we have supplied within the template. Here's a spreadsheet that I've provided as an example. We've got those familiar finance first name, account, and payment due dates, which you'll remember from the mobile and web channels. You'll also see that there is a fourth column, being the mobile number that we expect to send SMS messaging to. For each row of this spreadsheet, marks in each set of content for each recipient. To start the bulk message process, we do need to head back to Whispir, hover over the workspace in which we wish to send the message. For this example, I'll be preparing the message in the same workspace that I've prepared the template. So I'll be hovering over bulk message. You'll see that under the messages list in the top left-hand corner. Now we're brought to the bulk message wizard. We'll step through the 4 steps, which will take us through the entire process. Step 1 is a nice simple one. It is to simply upload the file that we saw earlier. Do note it must be a CSV file. You do have an example template to download for you to prepare your own CSV. We'll click Next. Next, we'll be defining which columns within the spreadsheet should be used for Whispir to know where to send the communication. I'm only going to be using SMS, so email and voice will be disabled. We can select Next. Here we need to select the template that we spent time preparing. I do this from the template dropdown. You can see here. And you can see that all of the channels, the subject line, and all other areas have been populated as I expected. We can see the web channel there with all of our attributes populated, and that looks great. Click Next, and we'll have a look at the content in more detail. Now here we can see the content as populated for the first 10 recipients from our uploaded file. You'll remember from viewing the file earlier that only 4 recipients were there. You can also see the count there, number of recipients 4. What I'm able to do here is select one of the recipients and see the information being populated. You'll notice as I'm changing the item in the drop-down list, the content below is changing. This is also true for the web channel. This is great at providing a little bit of confidence and validating that all of your attributes within your template, as well as the column headings within your bulk message, all line up. If you're seeing things not quite appearing correctly, you might want to revisit both the spreadsheet as well as the template, ensuring that all of the items are spelled correctly and there are no erroneous spaces mixing things up. When we're ready to send the message, we simply need to hit send at the bottom of the page here. And that is the end of our session today. Thank you so much for your time. You've just been able to witness changing an existing Whispir template library template, converting it into your own. I have completely changed that template using a new logo and completely different styling. You've watched me change just about every single bit of content within the template to meet its unique process. Once you've got your templates prepared, you only have to make the change once and you're able to use it on a very regular basis, simply preparing the spreadsheet each time you need to do a send out. Thank you again for your time today. I've been Casey Waters. Enjoy your day.